Hi guys, welcome to the Hidden Wealth Coins. This ordinary pocket change could secretly be a hidden treasure waiting to explode in value. Rare Kennedy half-dollar coins from years like 1971, 1974, 1977, and 1980 have stunned collectors with unexpected prices when found in flawless condition or with unique mint errors. One small detail can turn 50 cents into thousands, maybe more. Before you ignore that coin, take a closer look. Your fortune could already be in your hands. First up, the 1974 Kennedy half-dollar looks like an ordinary coin at first glance, but hidden within certain rare versions is a level of value that most people completely overlook. This is not just spare change. It's a piece of American history that, under the right conditions, can be worth far more than its face value. What makes this coin fascinating is not just its design or age, but the rare minting errors, exceptional conditions, and unique characteristics that transform a simple 50-cent coin into something collectors are willing to pay thousands for. When the 1974 Kennedy half-dollar was produced, it was part of a series that had already captured public attention following the tragic loss of President John F. Kennedy. By 1974, the coin was no longer made of silver, which had been removed from circulation coins a few years earlier. Instead, it was struck in a copper-nickel clad composition. Because of this, most 1974 half-dollars you find today are common. However, the real story begins when you look deeper into specific variations that escape the mint with unusual traits. One of the most valuable types of the 1974 Kennedy half-dollar is the version with a double die obverse. This error occurs when the coin's design is accidentally stamped twice in slightly different alignments, creating a visible doubling effect on the text or portrait. In high-grade condition, especially uncirculated coins where every detail is sharp and untouched, this type of error can push the value into thousands of dollars. It's not just a flaw, it's a rare signature that collectors actively hunt for. Condition plays a massive role in determining value. A coin that has been circulated heavily, scratched, or worn down will usually remain close to its face value. But if you have a 1974 Kennedy half-dollar in mint state condition, meaning it has never been used in everyday transactions, it can already be worth significantly more. Coins graded MS65, MS66, or higher show almost perfect surfaces, strong luster, and minimal imperfections, making them highly desirable. There are also special proof versions of the 1974 Kennedy half-dollar that were struck specifically for collectors. These proof coins were made with extra care, using polished dies and planchets to create a mirror-like finish. The details on these coins are sharper, and the contrast between the raised design and the background gives them a premium look. High-quality proof coins, especially those with deep cameo contrast, can reach impressive prices depending on their grade. Another hidden factor that can skyrocket the value of a 1974 Kennedy half-dollar is the presence of rare mint errors beyond doubling. Off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or coins struck on the wrong metal can turn an ordinary piece into a collector's dream. These types of errors are extremely rare because they usually get caught during production, so when one slips through, it becomes highly valuable due to its uniqueness. It's important to understand that not every 1974 Kennedy half-dollar will make you rich overnight. The majority of these coins are common and worth only a small premium over face value. However, the excitement comes from the possibility that one coin, just one, could have that rare feature or pristine condition that elevates it to a completely different level. That's why collectors carefully inspect every detail under magnification. The mint mark is another detail that matters. In 1974, these coins were minted in Philadelphia, no mint mark, and Denver, marked with a D. While both versions are widely available, certain high-grade examples from either mint can carry different values depending on rarity and demand. Sometimes, a coin from one mint in superior condition can be significantly more valuable than the same coin from another. Collectors also pay attention to luster, the way light reflects off the surface of coin. A strong, original mint luster indicates that the coin has been well preserved and not cleaned or tampered with. Coins that maintain their natural shine are always more attractive to buyers and often command higher prices in the market. Grading services play a key role in determining a coin's true value. Professional grading assigns a numerical score based on the coin's condition, authenticity, and overall quality. A certified high-grade 1974 Kennedy half dollar can sell for much more than an uncertified one because buyers trust the accuracy of the grade. This makes certification an important step if you believe your coin might be valuable. There's also a psychological element in coin collecting. The idea that a small piece of metal in your pocket could be worth hundreds or thousands creates excitement and curiosity. It turns everyday objects into hidden treasures, and that's what keeps collectors searching. The 1974 Kennedy half dollar is a perfect example of how something common can become extraordinary under the right circumstances. If you already have this coin, the smartest approach is to examine it carefully rather than rushing to sell it. Look for sharp details, unusual markings, or anything that seems different from a typical coin. Even a small detail can make a big difference in value. Taking the time to understand what you have can prevent you from letting go of something valuable for a very low price. The journey of discovering the true worth of a coin like the 1974 Kennedy half dollar is not just about money. It's about knowledge, patience, and attention to detail. Every coin tells a story, and sometimes that story includes rare mistakes or exceptional quality that turns it into a prized collectible. The more you learn, the better your chances of recognizing something special. In the end, while the dream of finding $1 million coin overnight is exciting, the real value lies in understanding what makes a coin rare and desirable. The 1974 Kennedy half dollar may not always reach extreme prices, but certain versions can still be worth a significant amount. And that possibility alone is enough to make every coin worth a second look before you decide what to do with it. Second up, the 1971 Kennedy half dollar might look like just another old coin sitting quietly in a drawer, but under the right conditions, it can transform into something far more powerful, something collectors chase with real money. This is not about fantasy or exaggerated claims. It's about understanding how a simple 50-cent coin from 1971 can hold surprising value when rarity, condition, and unique features come together in the perfect way. When the 1971 Kennedy half dollar was released, it marked a major shift in the series. This was the first year the coin was struck entirely without silver for general circulation, using a copper-nickel-clad composition instead. Because of that, millions were produced, and most of them remain common today. But within that massive production, a small number of coins stand out due to exceptional quality or unusual minting characteristics. The real value of a 1971 Kennedy half dollar begins with condition. A coin that has spent years in circulation will show wear, scratches, dull surfaces, and softened details. These are usually worth only face value or slightly more. But when you find a coin in pristine, uncirculated condition, everything changes. High-grade coins with strong luster and sharp details can reach impressive values, especially when graded at the top of the scale. Among the most sought-after examples are coins graded MS-66 or higher. These coins appear almost flawless to the naked eye, with brilliant surfaces and minimal imperfections even under magnification. Because it's extremely difficult for coins from 1971 to survive in such condition, collectors are willing to pay a premium. The difference between an average coin and a top-grade coin can mean the difference between cents and hundreds or even thousands of dollars. One of the most important varieties to watch for is the 1971 D. Kennedy half dollar with a double die obverse. This type of error creates a visible doubling effect on the lettering or design elements. It's not something you see on every coin, and that's exactly why it matters. When this error appears clearly and the coin is in high condition, it becomes highly desirable in the collector market. There are also proof versions of the 1971 Kennedy half dollar that were specially struck for collectors. These coins were not meant for everyday use, and they feature a mirror-like surface with sharp, frosted details. Proof coins from this year were produced in San Francisco, and while many exist, only the finest examples with deep cameo contrast reach higher values. Another layer of value comes from rare mint errors. Coins that were struck off-center on the wrong planchet or with other unusual defects can become one-of-a-kind pieces. These errors are not common, and when they appear on a 1971 Kennedy half dollar, they attract serious attention from collectors who are always searching for something unique. The mint mark also plays a role in identifying the coin. In 1971, coins were struck in Philadelphia, which carries no mint mark, and Denver, which uses a D. While both types are widely available, certain high-grade examples from either mint can stand out depending on how well they were preserved. Luster is another key factor that separates ordinary coins from valuable ones. A strong, original mint luster gives a coin a glowing, almost radiant appearance when light hits its surface. This natural shine is a sign that the coin has not been heavily handled or cleaned, both of which can reduce its value significantly. Professional grading is often the turning point for a coin's market value. When a 1971 Kennedy half dollar is authenticated and graded by a trusted service, it gains credibility. Buyers feel more confident paying higher prices for coins that have been officially evaluated, especially when the grade confirms exceptional quality. The idea that a small coin could hold serious value creates a sense of excitement that drives the entire collecting world. It's not about unrealistic overnight wealth, but about recognizing opportunity. The 1971 Kennedy half dollar represents that possibility, a chance that something overlooked could actually be meaningful. If you have this coin, the smartest move is not to rush. Take time to examine it carefully. Look at the details, check the surface, and notice anything unusual. Sometimes, the smallest feature can make the biggest difference in value. A careful inspection can reveal whether your coin is ordinary or something worth a closer look. The journey of discovering value in coins like the 1971 Kennedy half dollar is built on patience and awareness. Every coin has a story, and some carry hidden traits that only become visible when you know what to look for. That's what separates a casual glance from a valuable discovery. In the end, while most 1971 Kennedy half dollars will remain modest in value, a select few can stand far above the rest due to condition, rarity, and unique features. The key is understanding what makes them different. And once you see those differences, you'll never look at a simple half dollar the same way again. Third up, the 1980 Kennedy half dollar may look like just another old 50-cent coin, but when you truly understand what hides behind certain rare conditions, it becomes something far more powerful. This is the kind of coin that can sit quietly in your collection while carrying a value far beyond what most people imagine, not because every piece is rare, but because a very small number exists in extraordinary condition or with unique minting features that turn them into collector targets. When this coin was produced in 1980, it was part of a large-scale minting era where millions of coins were struck for circulation. These coins were made from a copper-nickel clad composition, meaning they contain no silver. Because of this, most examples are extremely common today. In fact, the majority of 1980 Kennedy half dollars you find are worth exactly 50 cents if they've been used in everyday transactions. Coin's value. But here's where the story becomes interesting. The real value of this coin is not in its metal. It's in its condition. A coin that has never been used, never scratched, and still shines with an original mint luster can jump from being ordinary to highly collectible. Coins graded in mint state condition, especially MS-66, MS-67, or higher, are where serious value begins to appear. The most powerful version of the 1980 Kennedy half dollar comes from the Denver Mint. In extremely high grades like MS-68, this coin becomes incredibly rare. Only a handful of such near-perfect examples are known, and one has reached values close to $5,000. This is where the idea of hidden treasure becomes real, not in millions, but still in life-changing amounts for a simple coin. Coin's value plus one. The Philadelphia version from 1980 also carries its own unique importance. This was one of the first years where the Philadelphia Mint began using the P mint mark on Kennedy half dollars. While common in lower grades, finding one in nearly flawless condition is extremely difficult. That difficulty is what creates value, not just age or quantity. Another layer of excitement comes from mint errors. These are the moments when something went wrong during production and the mistake slipped through. A 1980 Kennedy half dollar struck on the wrong metal, for example, can be worth thousands because it is completely different from standard coins. One such error sold for thousands of dollars at auction, showing how powerful these rare mistakes can be. Coin's value. Even smaller errors can add noticeable value. A double design on the coin, where letters or details appear slightly duplicated, is one example. These double die coins are not extremely common, but when found in strong condition, they can command solid premiums among collectors. Coin-identifier.com. There are also subtle errors like fill mint marks, with a P or D looks unclear or blob-like due to worn dies. While these don't reach extreme prices, they still show how even small imperfections can separate one coin from another and increase its worth. CoinValueChecker.com. Proof versions of the 1980 Kennedy half dollar add another dimension. These coins were specially made for collectors using polished dies, giving them a mirror-like finish. While many proof coins exist, only the finest examples with perfect surfaces and strong contrast are truly valuable. Their beauty alone makes them stand out from regular circulation coins. One of the biggest factors that drives value is rarity within condition, not just rarity of the coin itself. Millions of 1980 half dollars exist, but very few exist in near-perfect condition. That gap between common and perfect is where the price increases dramatically. A coin can go from being worth 50 cents to thousands simply because it survived untouched. Luster is another hidden detail that collectors pay close attention to. When a coin still reflects light with a smooth, original shine, it shows that it has been preserved carefully. Once that surface is damaged or cleaned, the value drops. That's why untouched coins always command more attention and higher prices. Professional grading plays a major role in unlocking the true value of this coin. When a coin is certified and given a high grade, it becomes easier to sell and more trusted in the market. Buyers are willing to pay more because they know exactly what they are getting. Without grading, even a great coin might not reach its full value. The idea of becoming extremely rich overnight from a 1980 Kennedy half dollar is not realistic for most coins, and it's important to stay grounded. However, the real excitement comes from the possibility that one rare example, one perfectly preserved or uniquely struck coin, can be worth far more than expected. That possibility is what keeps collectors searching. If you already have a 1980 Kennedy half dollar, the smartest move is to examine it carefully. Look at the surface, check the mint mark, and pay attention to any unusual features. Even a small difference could mean a big change in value. Rushing to sell without understanding what you have could lead to losing something valuable. In the end, the 1980 Kennedy half dollar is a perfect example of how ordinary objects can carry hidden potential. Most will remain simple coins, but a few stand far above the rest because of condition, rarity, or error. And once you understand what to look for, every coin you hold starts to feel like it could be something much bigger. Fourth up, the 1977 Kennedy half dollar might look like an ordinary coin resting quietly in a drawer, but in the world of collectors, certain versions of this coin carry a level of importance that most people never realize. This is not about turning every coin into instant millions, but about understanding how specific examples, defined by condition, rarity, and striking quality, can rise far above their simple 50-cent face value and become highly desirable pieces. By 1977, the Kennedy half dollar had fully transitioned into a copper-nickel-clad composition, meaning it no longer contained silver like earlier issues from the 1960s. Because of this, millions of coins are produced for everyday use, and most of them remain common today. However, within that large reduction, only a very small number survived in exceptional condition, and those are the coins that command serious attention. Condition is the single most powerful factor when it comes to value. A 1977 Kennedy half dollar that has been used in circulation will show wear, faded details, scratches, and dull surfaces. These coins typically hold little more than face value. But when you step into the world of mint state coins, pieces that were never used and still retain their original brilliance, the story changes dramatically. High-grade examples, especially those graded MS-66, MS-67 or higher, are extremely difficult to find. These coins display sharp details, clean surfaces, and a strong, glowing luster that reflects light beautifully. Because so few coins from 1977 remain in this near-perfect state, collectors are willing to pay hundreds or even thousands of dollars for the finest examples. The 1977 Kennedy half dollar was minted in two primary locations: Philadelphia, which carries no mint mark, and Denver, marked with a D. While both versions are common in lower grades, Certain high-grade coins from either mint can stand out based on how well they were struck and preserved. Sometimes, a Denver coin with exceptional quality may outperform a Philadelphia coin, or vice versa, depending on demand and availability. Another factor that can elevate the value of a 1977 Kennedy half dollar is the presence of mint errors. These are coins that were struck with imperfections during production, such as off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or unusual die flaws. While rare, these errors create uniqueness, and uniqueness is one of the strongest drivers of value in the coin market. There are also more subtle varieties, such as minor doubling the design or small die imperfections that make one coin slightly different from another. These are not always easy to spot, but experienced collectors look closely for these details because even a slight variation can increase desirability when combined with strong condition. Luster is another key element that separates average coins from valuable ones. A coin that still shines with its original mint glow indicates that it has not been heavily handled or cleaned. This natural brilliance is highly prized because it represents the coin in its closest form to how it looked when it left the mint. Proof coins from 1977 add another layer of interest. These coins were specially produced for collectors using polished dies and carefully prepared surfaces. They feature a mirror-like background and frosted design elements, creating a striking contrast. While many proof coins exist, only those in top condition with deep, clean finishes achieve higher values. Professional grading is often a step that unlocks a coin's full potential. When a 1977 Kennedy half dollar is authenticated and assigned a high grade by a trusted grading service, it becomes more attractive to buyers. This certification provides confidence, and that confidence translates into stronger prices in the market. It's important to stay realistic while still recognizing opportunity. Not every 1977 Kennedy half dollar will be valuable, and most remain common. However, the difference between a circulated coin and a near-perfect one is enormous. That gap is where the true potential lies, and that's what makes searching through coins so exciting. If you already own a 1977 Kennedy half dollar, the best approach is patience. Examine the coin carefully under good lighting. Look for sharp details, smooth surfaces, and anything unusual in the design. Even a small difference can change how the coin is viewed by collectors. The appeal of this coin is not just about money. It's about discovery. The idea that something so simple can carry hidden value creates a sense of curiosity and excitement. Each coin becomes a small mystery, waiting to be understood and appreciated. Over time, as more coins are used, lost, or damaged, the number of high-quality examples continues to shrink. This natural reduction increases the importance of well-preserved coins. What may seem ordinary today can become far more desirable in the future, simply because fewer top-condition pieces remain. In the end, the 1977 Kennedy half dollar represents the balance between common and rare. Most are ordinary, but a select few stand out because of condition, quality, or unique features. And once you understand what to look for, you begin to see that even a simple half dollar can carry far more significance than its face value suggests.